is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with another What to Expect. Today we're going to talk about the Indiana Pacers, a team that won 48 games after trading a franchise player, Paul George, to Oklahoma City. A lot of people predicted that the Indiana Pacers will be one of the worst teams in the NBA. And obviously, that was furthest thing from the truth. I still picked them to make the playoffs last year. But most people thought they would be one of the worst teams in the NBA. But instead, they go on to win 48 games and give the team that was in the NBA Finals representing the East, the Cleveland Cavaliers, a run for their money, forcing a Game 7. Um, and they did it in Cleveland, and they came very close to actually winning the game. And they could have been in the second round easily, but it didn't happen that way. And they missed a lot of opportunities. They got some bad calls, and they just couldn't close out the games that they needed to, which was they gave them that 4 wins, but they couldn't do it. So we're gonna talk about this Pacers team and what to expect from them. Victor Oladipo was a breakout player this year. I did say in a video before this, before the season started, that Victor Oladipo is a guy that has star potential. He has to change his body. He has to change his work ethic. He has to put in more work, and he needs to fix his jumper so he'll be a lot more consistent. And that's exactly what he ended up doing coming into this season. It was just a matter of fact of just going out there and playing your game and doing it. And once he started playing his game, trusting his jumper, being aggressive, attacking, plus they run a fast-paced offense where he can get easy buckets in transition. He can get going downhill, which means from the top of the key to the paint, and he can always use his ability to get to the rim as a strength. And when he does that, it forces you to sag off of him. And he had that fearlessness this year of, if you give me too much room, I'm pulling up a three. You give me too much room, I'm going to knock down a mid-range jumper. And he was able to do that consistently throughout the year. Now, some people get hot and then they cool off. Victor Oladipo was able to stay at an even chill, pace this whole year. And you seen how much he wanted it. You see that he wanted to be great. Even against Cleveland in the regular season, he had made multiple plays which helped them close out against the Cleveland Cavaliers, basically destroying them in the season series in the regular season. And Victor Oladipo was the main reason why they was able to win those games by hitting clutch shots after clutch shots to close out the game. He didn't really do that enough in the playoffs, but it's a different animal. It's a new season, and you have to have, this is his first time being a guy in the playoffs. So I'm not going to make an excuse for him, but it is true. This is the first time you're the guy at the playoffs. You get all these shots. The team relies on you. You're the focal point of the offense, and these things that you gotta study and you gotta prepare for. And I don't really think he was properly prepared, but they still had a chance to win the series. They actually was up at one point in the series. So, he did all he could really do and just came up short. And hopefully he can build upon it this year. But the Pacers was the surprise team this year, and they won't be much of a surprise coming into this season as the NBA has got more tougher. In the East especially, they're more top heavy than they were about last year. It really was only two legitimate competition, which was really, Boston and Cleveland and Toronto, and then Philly came on late, but they never could really, do it for the whole complete season. They just got on a major winning streak at the end of the season, which helped pad their record to make it look like a lot better than what it actually was throughout the season. But other than that, this Pacer team is one of the, up and coming teams that has guys like Aaron Holiday, like Miles Turner, Bojan Bogdanovic. Obviously, they have T.J. Leaf. They still have Sabonis, who has shown a lot of improvement, finishing around the basket, playing in the pick and roll, hitting the three, hitting the mid range, using floaters around the paint. You obviously have Miles Turner trying to be a better defender, knock down the mid range jumper, space out the floor at that center position. And he had a decent season. If they really want to go somewhere, they got to expect more growth out of this team. And what I mean by that is they have to, play a lot better than what they had to last year, and they have to really go into this season having something new. Because you can't just come back and do exactly what you did last year. Because not only is the NBA tougher, teams now can scout you. Teams know the plays you want to do. Teams know who you are, and teams respect you. So it's not going to be as easy as it was last year because team is going to be prepared for you. And I think guys like Aaron Holiday and Sabonis and Victor Oladipo, the main parts and intricate parts of this team, they're going to have to come in and bring something new to the table. They're going to have to bring something fresh to the table if they really want to make it back to the playoffs and win as many games as they did last year, which was 48. Nobody in the world had the Pacers winning 48 games last year, and they was able to accomplish that. So with great, expectations comes with, the respect level. So now that they know you're a great team, now that they know what you're trying to do, now they know how to play you, teams are going to, really focus in on that scouting report. They're going to really be looking forward to playing you, and they're going to feel like they, are prepared. And that's a disadvantage for the Pacers. Something that they had last year was the surprise factor. Nobody expected Victor Oladipo to be this dominant and this dynamic, and nobody expected them to play that well under Nate McMillan. And I didn't either, but I had them making the playoffs, but I didn't know they was going to win 48 games, almost 50 games. I didn't know that. But here we are, and they was able to accomplish it. Now, what I personally think that they need to do is find ways to run more plays to free up Victor Oladipo. I feel like he has to do a little bit too much, especially when it comes to creating offense. He has to do all the ball handling. He has to do a lot of the playmaking, and he has to do a lot of tough shots. Obviously, getting up and down the court was an easy way to get him easier baskets. Obviously, because he gets the transition baskets and he gets the open baskets because he's so explosive and so quick that once he gets that dribble or once the space is open, he can blow by his man with that first step and finish in the paint. Or, like I said, they react to that and give him space to shoot the mid-range in the spot up three. I feel like he took advantage of the easy and early opportunities, and that's not going to really be the case this year, and that's going to really hurt him thinking, just like he did against the Cavaliers, he had a lot of struggles, and he just wasn't the same player after they really slowed the game down and forced him to execute and forced him to play within the offense that wasn't as fast. And Victor Oladipo had some of his worst games this season in the playoffs. And a lot of players do struggle in the playoffs because it's a lot more intense. The shots matter more, the possessions matter more, and teams more or less focus on you, especially the star players, and make it very ugly and tough. And you have to really watch a lot of footage and really study if you really want to, pick your opportunities, win the score, win the pass. And a lot of people feel like Victor Oladipo wasn't doing enough. I feel like he did enough. He just didn't take advantage of the opportunities that he had, and that's why he missed a lot of shots because he was rushing them. He was doing too much, and you could really see that in the playoffs, especially against Cleveland. So at the end of the day, I definitely have this team winning around 43 to 45 games. I think they're still going to be one of the more decent teams because they're well coached. They have an identity. They have a star player that they can build around, and he wants to be better. He wants to be great, and he put the work in last year. I don't see why he would digress this year, but it will be tougher. It will be harder, and teams are going to be more prepared, and they're not just going to come in here and be a walk in the park like they did last year. I said the same thing about Portland a couple years ago, and then they went down, and now they went back up. And now it's time for the Pacers to reinvent themselves a little bit and bring something new to the table, something fresher to the table. And I think that will definitely help them this season and catch a couple teams off guard. And then they're going to have to feast on the bad teams. So you got to beat the Nets. You have to beat the teams like the Knicks. You have to beat those type of teams, and you have to really win those season series because all them little wins gonna matter when you're trying to get home court advantage in the first round, or you're definitely trying to finish in that top four. You definitely have to feast on the lower teams to get that done, and I think that this team did an exceptional job at that last year. And I think that's something they need to continue to build upon this year. I definitely see them possibly getting out of the first round, depending on the matchup. They're going to be up there with the Wizards. They're going to be up there with the Bulls and the Bucks. That the teams with the lone stars or 2.5, 1.5 stars, people saying now. I think that they have enough talent to compete with those teams. And if they do compete with those teams, they can possibly get to the second round. Other than that, I don't really see them beating Boston. I don't see them beating the Sixers. I don't see them beating Toronto. Those are the type of teams that they will have to beat in the second round to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I personally feel that they won't be beating those type of teams, and they're not better than those teams. And it's going to be tough, at the end of the day to beat those teams, and they just don't have enough. They don't have a superstar. I feel like Victor Oladipo is an all-star. He is one of the better players, top 25 players in the league, but he is not one of the elite superstar franchise guys at this point. Can he get there? Yes, I seen it last year. He has that potential. Is he there now? No. And he just doesn't have enough talent all around him to really beat these teams. They have more talent. They have great coaches. They have great ball movement, and they're top defensive and top offensive teams. Where you're going against teams like that, you're already at a disadvantage, and I feel like that doesn't help their case. It actually hurts their case a lot more, and that's why I just don't see them making it past the out of the second round and really making a run for the Eastern Conference Finals or even the NBA Finals. But if they got out of the first round, I wouldn't be surprised, but I honestly doubt they get any further. So let me know what you guys think, what you expect from the Indiana Pacers. Was it all hype? Was they overrated? Was they underrated? Do you think they deserve the praise? Do you think that they're going to be better? Do you think they're going to be worse? Do you think Miles Turner become an all-star this year? Do you think it'd be a guy like Aaron Holiday or Sabonis doing a lot of development and he's going to be the missing piece, or he's going to be that guy to help Victor Oladipo? Or do you think it's going to be Miles Turner? Or do you think that this team is just going to be a mediocre team and they're going to barely make the playoffs or make the playoffs and get put out in the first round until they get that second all-star to go alongside Victor Oladipo? We really don't know what's going to happen, but this team is one of the better teams in the East, and they're one of the better teams that should make the playoffs if no major injuries happen. They have that much talent, and they have a good system that really works to a lot of their players' strengths, and they like to get up and down the floor, and they're athletic. So it's going to be tough to guard them for 48 minutes, and that should be good enough for them to make a playoff spot, especially with a lot of bad teams still in the NBA. They have enough talent to, feed off at least 20 wins from that, and that's already half enough to, after you beat some of the tougher teams and some of the mediocre teams, that should be enough for them to win around 42, 43, 45 games. And that should give them a fifth or a sixth, seventh seed, which means they have a chance to get out of the first round. At the end of the day, check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description in the comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description in the comment section below. Also, check out my spread shirt. I have it in the description in the comment section below. You can buy multiple things and multiple merchandise like hoodies, like shirts, like cups, magazine, pillowcases, whatever you want. I got it for you at Spread Shirt. Thanks for the support, liking on Facebook, checking out my videos, liking on YouTube, watching the videos, enjoying the videos, and also, support the movement by buying merchandise. Thanks for the support. I'm gone, and let me know what you guys think about the Indiana Pacers.